Welcome to the Department of Planning, Lands and Heritage webinar presentation showing the application process for Section 18. My name is Aidan Ash and I'd like to acknowledge and pay my respects to the Whadjuk people whose land I'm presenting this webinar on, and extend that respect and acknowledgement of Aboriginal people throughout the state of Western Australia. So in the situation where there is going to be works and the use of the land and possibly damage or impact to an Aboriginal site, there's a requirement under the legislation to apply or provide a notice under Section 18. This must be done through the Acknowledge portal on the Department of Planning, Lands and Heritage website. So a user would come to the web page and create a login. If you already have a login, you'd sign into your account. So when you're in your home page, you'll see your list of existing applications or draft applications, also submitted applications and determined applications. Any notifications from the department would also be on your home page. To apply for Section 18, you'd click on the applications and select Section 18. You'd read the disclaimer and accept these terms. There's also some text down the side that would provide advice on filling out the Section 18 application. The first part of the form would be confirming your personal details, which are based on the details you provided for your login. So making sure that those details are up to date and are correct. A fee is required for Section 18 applications in some circumstances, and that first question is about your organisation type, whether you're non-for-profit, if you're a company, or if you're a government department. You also need to provide details of an alternative contact in a situation where you may not be available, and as part of the application process you'd need to be contacted. If you're not, you'd need to provide an alternative contact. So fill in those details and go to next. At the purpose stage, you'll be filling out details of the proposed activity that is going to occur on the land or in the project area. So the first part is providing a short, concise title of the activity. And then a brief summary of the proposed works or proposed development, the region the works are going to occur in, and also timeframes for the project. A Section 18 consent is valid for the life of the project. In this section, it's describing how you came to establish the sites that exist within the land area. The next part is defining the area for where notice is being provided, and this is really important for the accuracy of this area, as Section 18's consents relate to the owner of the land. So you can use the map viewer that's within the Acknowledge app. You need to find the area that you're going to work in. You can use some of the data layers within the mapping system to assist with the location. There's also some tools within the map viewer to measure distance and length, and also area. some of the data sets and the layers within this mapping system will be quite useful, including the cadastre layer or the mining tenements. These will show the owner of the land, and that's really important when you are providing notice of the Section 18, that the information about who owns the land is accurate. So this boundary defines which landowners are relevant for the application. So once you've selected your area that the application applies to, you include that. The next questions are about if a relevant ILUA or standard heritage agreement exists. In the southwest, there's an ILUA that exists that is relevant for all government departments, and the Noongar Standard Heritage Agreement will apply in that area. So these questions are in regards to any existing agreements that are relevant. So as we were talking about before, the area defining the application is critical to, or the accuracy of that boundary is critical in terms of the application progressing. This question is really about providing a broad overview of where the works area exists within the landscape. So is it near a town? So some general descriptions of where the location is. So here with every land parcel that's within that area that you've selected needs to be listed. So details of the tenure, whether it's a mining tenement or a freehold lease area, needs to be provided. So if it's multiple land parcels that intersect the area that you've selected, all those multiple land parcels need to be listed. So you'd create a separate section for each land parcel. If there's any errors in these details relating to that polygon the polygon that you've provided, that would result in a stop the clock in terms of the process once we receive the application. So it's really important that these details are corrected before submitting the application. The next section is about defining which Aboriginal heritage places or sites are within the land. So the polygon that was chosen before for the Section 18 notice area, that polygon will be used to undertake a site search within the DPLH database of submitted Aboriginal heritage information. You can also use layers, as we were talking about before, to show in the map. So all the information that is on the Department of Planning, Lands and Heritage database will be shown in this view here. Any recent Aboriginal heritage submissions won't appear here, and you'll need to provide information about new Aboriginal heritage information that's been collected as part of the information gathering process for the Section 18. So really this step is about identifying which Aboriginal heritage places or sites are within the land area. This is an example of listing those sites. The submission ID would relate to a recent ACH Aboriginal heritage submission. Also, what is really important is listing the proposed impact to each of Aboriginal heritage places or sites that are within the land area. And also any feedback from the consultation that occurred prior to lodging the Section 18. The next section is about consultation, and our proponents would have followed the consultation and Aboriginal heritage guidelines in regards to Section 18 that have been provided. The part where you can provide attachments, so any relevant documents that need to be attached can be attached here. The current limit is 50 megabytes per attachment. With the process of the application, you can bounce around to different sections, and if you click next or previous or save, that'll save before you leave the screen. So you can leave this application for a few weeks and come back to it, as long as you don't submit it, and it will be available to update. At the end of the application, you'll go through a summary of the information that you provided. What's really important is making sure that you've listed the ACH correctly within that area, and you've also discussed the impacts to each ACH within the application. This is the declaration at the end. Read through and tick those boxes. Awareness of the fee that needs to be paid in certain circumstances. There's also provisions for the CEO to waive a fee if there is justification for that. Once you're happy with the application, then press submit. And you'll receive a unique case number that would be used for any future correspondence with the department to track that application. There is no rolling deadline. You can submit a Section 18 application at any time. Thank you very much for listening to this webinar, and if you have any questions, please reach out to an officer to seek advice. We really encourage that you make contact with the department as early as possible if you have any queries. It's really the intention for everyone as part of this process to try and get the application as correct as possible, because if there is further information required or inaccuracies or inconsistencies in the application, that would require a stop the clock letter, because there are timeframes associated with the application once it is submitted, that being 70 days from the submission to that application going to the Minister. So it is very critical that the applicant reviews the application, if there's any question that there may be an inaccuracy or thing that needs clarifying, then it's really important that you pick up the phone or email us to get some feedback on the application. Thank you very much for listening to this webinar, and I hope it's been helpful. Thank you very much.